folks, welcome back to the Upstate Golf Show, hosted by Kip Kirby. That would be me. Yes, Kip, it's a nickname, and we'll talk about that later. I don't want to go into what my real name is because I got bill collectors starting to call me and I get in trouble. My host today is Craig McLean, General Manager and Director of Golf at the Edison Club. And every week, folks, I'll have a different PGA professional. They won't be as good as Craig McLean. I'm going to put that out there because I'm getting some texts already, Craig, that we can, I want to do this next week. So you set the bar, and it's some great stories. Love it. Want to talk a little bit about charity events. I've been very fortunate. I've been running the ALS Pro-Am for 19 years and coming up to our 20th, which is just incredible, and raise a lot of money, awareness, and it's been a special event. One of the reasons why it's special, I have pros, and they interact with the the amateurs, and they make it a fun day. And what I've learned is the more you give back to the amateurs, the more, not only gifts or food or whatever it might be, but just make sure they go away with a good time. And when they have a good time, they tell their friends. And we've been very fortunate to sell out every year and raise a lot of money for the ALS Center at St. Peter's Hospital. But again, Craig's been doing this a long time. He's run a ton of charity events. And again, Craig, some ideas how can they get help? What do they need to do, again, to make it more successful on their end?
Well, first of all, I'd be remiss if I didn't say ALS is near and dear to any PGA member who lived in Vermont for 23 years, because we lost Jeff Julian and we lost Jeff Hadley, and two of my, I consider them really good friends, and it was just the most tragic, sad thing in the world. So there's that, and I think I'd say three things about that I could think of right off the top of my head, which I try to talk to the people who come to the Edison Club for an event. Now, most of the time they don't pay much attention to you, but we had the good fortune last year, or the bad fortune of trying to help out a friend of ours, John Neat, who's, PGA member, diagnosed cancer, bad scene. We're trying to raise money for him. And so it was the first time, like I said, I'm going to do all the stuff that I think should be done in one of these things. And, we missed the mark on any number of things, but we hit the mark on two or three different things. And the first thing is, when you're bringing people into this event, one of the things I see all the time in this is this endless 6-hour round of golf. You got to come up with a format where the people aren't out there for 6 hours. A lot of the people don't play golf. You're bringing them to the golf for the first time. You've got to come up with formats. They're out there. If you can't come up with one, call me. I'll give you one. We played 300 people.
It was unbelievable.
In 3 hours and 50 minutes.
Unbelievable.
It can be done. You can come up with formats, and people can have fun. And when they get done with that, then they still have energy. When I watch the people coming off these 5 and 6 hour deals, and then they're trying to be inspired to buy an auction item, or maybe bid on something, or maybe put money in it. All they're thinking is, I want to go home. And what I see in a lot of these events is, I'll send in the money, but don't make me go play.
Right.
So the first suggestion I would have is come up with formats that are reasonable, that are short, that allow you to play golf, hit balls, and hit shots, hit real golf shots, and play and get done.
I got to tell you, John Neat's thing, that was perfect. And we're there for the cause. And when, playing golf was secondary. And obviously you did such a great job there with that. But what a great point, because how many events, 6.5 hours, you're out there and you don't get home till 9, 10 o'clock at night. People can't do it. And we need to shorten that window a lot.
The second thing that I would do, and I've tried very hard with the people that come to our club and do these things, that I've tried to inspire them to do. And I remember this back from the cancer days, is you've asked the person to come there, and they've come and they've had lunch and they played, and maybe they drank, maybe they bought some things, maybe they didn't. But by the time they've been there 7 or 8 hours, they forgot why they were there. They've lost sight of the charity or the cause or what we're trying to accomplish at this event. And what I always thought was such a great idea, and I remember this with Jeff Blatnick doing it, in the old Cancer Day over at the Mohawk Club, and I've seen it a few times, is, make sure that before you have the folks leave for dinner, You get somebody up there for 10 or 15 minutes that really ties the thing together, that really says, listen, this was a long day, and we really appreciate you being here, but let me show you what some of the results are from some of the money you're raising, and this is what it's meant to this scholarship winner or this cancer survivor or this, whatever your deal is. This is the school we're running. We're doing a thing for a school this year, and, we're practically giving the place away, but that's okay. It's a great school, and it's a great cause, and it's a great thing. And I'm trying to beg them, tie it together at the end with a speaker, with somebody who's benefited from this, because people lose track of what the deal is.
We figured that out a long time ago, and every year we have a different speaker, and it's a tear-jerking thing, but I always want people to know why you're there. Yeah. Your money's going somewhere, and I have nobody that I knew except for Jeff. I knew Jeff Julian. I knew some people, but I didn't have any family connection with ALS. When I presented the very first check to St. Peter's almost 20 years ago, and Karen, who runs the ALS Center here at St. Peter's locally, she started crying, and I said, Karen, what? She goes, I'm able to buy Tom a wheelchair now.
That's real.
I go,
that's
that was
stuff.
real. I said, this is it. I am in 100% because I saw those dollars going directly, and that made me feel great. And again, we built a center and a couple other golf tournaments that are going on. It's phenomenal, Craig, what has gone on with this event. Again, it's the Upstate Golf Show with Kip Kirby and my host tonight, Craig McLean of the Edison Club. And I feel, again, charity is an important part. There are so many events out there. And if you need to promote your event, I'm going to ask you to email me. We are going to have a website up. Give me a couple of weeks to get that going, but email me for now. It's kip.kirby@townsquaremedia.com. You have a charity event, again, go ahead and email me. We'll talk about it and give you as much plug as I possibly can. I also want to thank some of our sponsors here, OTS Photos. Johnny Miller, if you have a golf event and you need someone to come out and take some, not only just pictures, but what he does some unique things with magnets and it makes your charity events a little bit more special. It's otsphotos.com. Johnny Miller. I know Johnny Miller. It's, great name for charity golf events. But check it out. otsphotos.com, and Johnny Miller, to help your event out is somebody you want to reach out to. Craig, you've been great. This is, you've been a lot of fun today, and some great insight too, and some great stories, which I knew you had. But we only got a couple of minutes left here. Can you share any kind of real crazy story, maybe?
No, I can't.
Nothing at all.
Then your show would be over for the eternity.
There's got to be. I know.
No, come on. I made 3 segments, and there's been no F words or anything.
You've been incredible.
Anything. It's unbelievable. But Trump's running for president, right?
Yeah.
So how many? We got a minute. I have 1 minute. I got 3 minutes. Okay, I can do this in 3 minutes. And there is an F word in here, but we'll leave it at that. So I'm working at this fancy schmancy place in Palm Beach, North Palm Beach, Old Marsh Club, and
This is your winter gig.
My winter gig.
Okay.
And, so I'm down there, and we got our one-eye starter. He can't. He got to get out of there by 4:00 because he can't drive when it's dark out because God knows why. And he didn't care whether you were, Jack Welch was there and all these millionaires and fancy people, or you were the last caddy in the rack. So Donald shows up as he did, and he was kind of down and out in those days. He had his shirts were too small and his belly was hanging over. And if you thought his hair's bad now, it was really bad then, and it was windy. So Donald comes up and does you remember the Big N store down in Schenectady? They used to have this bowl where you could grab as many teas as you could grab out of the bowl for 50 cents. Well, Donald does one of these. Donald does one of these full-on grabs out of the bowl, right? And this starter doesn't blink. He's got the cigarette hanging out of his mouth. There's one good eye on Donald. He says, "Donald, are you playing golf today? Or are you building an effing house?" I thought you never saw 50 caddies and backroom people scramble for cover, because the next 75 words out of Donald's mouth were unpublishable.
That's great. Oh, the Empire. I'm sorry, I said it again. The Upstate. I don't want Empire in my mind. The Upstate Golf Show, hosted by myself, Kip Kirby, and my great co-host tonight, Craig McLean from the Edison Club. This is the first show, folks, and I think it wasn't too bad. And I got producer Gaz here. He's giving me the nod. I think I did okay. We're working on it, but we're going to talk about everything. Lessons. We're going to have a different PGA professional every week. I hope you tune in. And again, if you got any questions right now, email me, kip.kirby@townsquaremedia.com. And again, Craig, thank you very much for coming in. And I'd like to do this again, if you don't mind.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate it.
I have to, can't I? I mean, come join the Edison Club. Come on.
There you go.
It's fun over there.
That's just why you're here.
Yeah. Let's go.
Thank you to all, again, our sponsors and to everybody. Coming up next, the Capital Region Sports Saturday with Brady Farkas right here on 104.5 The Team.